Okay, can you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Orvis.
Orvis who?
Ray Culpepper.
Orvis Ray Culpepper.
Orvis Ray
Who else was
Culpepper.
named Orvis?
My mom's grandpa.
Yeah. Who's sitting next to you over here?
Grandpa Harry.
Harry, he's pretty awesome, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to do another podcast style episode here on Deer Driven. Today, once again, I'm going to be hosting, and we're joined with the patriarch of the family, Harry Hartzler. And once again, one of the things we want to do occasionally is take a moment to just get to know some of the Deer Driven members behind the scenes, and obviously one of the main characters, if not the main character, and he's quite a character. So anyways, one of my favorite people in the world, and so we're just excited for you guys to get a chance to hear from Harry Hartzler. So Harry, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, tell me what you've been up to today, first off.
Well, we...
Because I think I still see some
Whatever.
maybe mud or
Whatever.
something over here on the side of your face. What have you been up to?
Reuben had a couple pigs he was raising, and yeah, we went ahead and butchered them today.
Okay.
Just got them hung up. We've got 4 half pigs hanging in a hedge tree out there at Reuben's place. So
That's pretty cool. And they're homegrown, right?
yeah, they raised them right there, and that's where I've been taking my table scraps to over to him.
Feed the pigs.
Feed the pigs. They ate a lot of regular pig food.
So how do you, what's your background? How do you know how to break down a pig like you do?
Well, actually, I learned a lot of stuff from my mom.
Okay.
Probably a lot more than I learned from my dad. I learned a lot of stuff from my dad too, but my mom, man, I tell you what, you lose somebody like that, and it's like you're losing so much knowledge. In fact, just, an hour ago, I was trying to figure out how to clean up some natural casings.
Really?
The small intestine.
Okay.
And I remember my mom taking and stripping that through between her thumb and the back of a knife, not the sharp side, the dull side, and just stripping it through and stripping it through and stripping it through. And, I haven't seen that since I was a teenager, so you're talking about...
It's been a minute.
Yeah, over 40 years, I'd say, since
Wow.
I've seen that. And I was trying to figure out, now, how did she do that? And
Tell us, or, when did you know that you were deer driven, like just crazy about the outdoors, or maybe some earliest hunting memories that just you knew you were hooked? Yeah.
Yeah, well, both of my brothers, are older than me, and they hunted a little bit, but they never really got into it. And I was that one kid in the family that I just wanted to be out hunting. And so I don't know how old I was. I'm thinking, 6 or 7, and it was a snowy day, and my dad said that when we got done with the morning milking, it's like we didn't have school that day because it was a lot of snow. When he got done with the morning milking, he would take us rabbit hunting. And so, he had this little 22 Winchester. I have it today, the little pump. And so we went down behind the barn along the ditch, and this rabbit jumped out in front of him, and the other brothers were there too, but I don't know that it meant anything to them. But he popped it, just one shot, perfect shot, and I was so excited. And he had a pocket knife in his pocket. Always had a pocket knife. Mm-hmm. I would too if I could keep a hold of them. I plant them.
Yeah.
But he pulled out the pocket knife and he cut between the tendon and the back leg bone and slipped a piece of baler twine through there and doubled it back and asked me, "You want to carry it?" And I'm like, "Man, this is the life."
That was it right there.
Yeah.
Hooked.
Yeah, and it's just, he didn't hunt that much. He really didn't hunt, except he just took us rabbit hunting that day.
Gotcha.
Maybe 1 or 2 other times.
Yeah. So, we've obviously talked a lot just about the role of a dad, and especially that role as it plays into a love for the outdoors. can you tell us just a little bit of how your relationship with your dad, maybe hunting or not hunting, and how that's impacted? I mean, you take all of your kids, boys and girls, and grandkids, and everybody out hunting. Like, what was that like? What helped you decide to make the outdoors such a part of your family's life?
Well, I mean, if you're crazy about football, you take your kids to football games. So, I mean, that's a lot of it. My dad didn't really understand how to be a dad, and so I just kind of, I learned a lot. Over time. I'm saying, you're a teenager, you don't think about that stuff. But when Mary and I got married, and when we had little kids, we learned a lot from Scripture, and then just applying like principles. We watched Focus on the Family, James Dobson, or listened to, didn't watch. Back in the day, we were listening to the radio all the time, Focus on the Family. So, I mean, we just learned the importance of these things. And also, Mary's dad, Orvis Johnston, was a great role model. He just spent a lot of time with his kids, and, I mean, he wasn't really a hunter either, but, just that thing of prioritizing family. And so, just, for me, it was kind of a thing of trying to learn as I went.
Yeah.
And as far as taking kids hunting, I mean, there's just nothing. Not only my own kids, but
right.
I mean, I've taken several others. I'm thinking of a guy right now. I mean, we were deer hunting up in Shelby County, where Mary's from, and a young guy went with us, and I told him, "Here, get in this tree," and he shot his first deer with a bow. James DeGraffenreid.
Okay, yeah.
And man, when I came back to pick him up, he was so excited. He was just crazy excited. And Jeremy shot his first deer up there, and he come like running through the timber.
Really?
So that's the way I remember it. Right. He might remember it differently, but anyhow, I'm just saying and Sean and Zion aren't really into hunting that much. I mean, they enjoy being out there.
Mm-hmm. They enjoy lifting a little bit of weights, a little bit more than waking up early.
They enjoy being buff, but I mean, both of them have gone out hunting with us, and harvested turkeys, harvested deer, and so I mean, it's just, I don't feel like you have to be into hunting, but for us, that's kind of a lot of what our family time was.
Right.
In the woods, and especially as it come up on turkey season, like you're thinking about being out there on a spring morning, and wow. Yeah. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And just for those of you out there listening today, obviously, we just each of us can tell a number of different stories about the role of father figures in our lives, and how often those just memorable moments happen out in the woods or on the way to the turkey woods. And I know that that's true in my life. I mean, sometimes this season can be hard for me after losing my dad, but it's also a mixture of emotions of just incredible memories out in the woods. And so if you're listening today, if you're passionate about the outdoors, take a kid hunting. Look around the people around you. If you see young kids that don't necessarily have somebody to take them out hunting, and you're crazy about it, make sure to take a kid along with you, because that you can change a kid's life by just sharing the outdoors with them. And Harry is one of those. Heck, in my family, we struggled to kill turkeys. I mean, it was a frustration. And my dad and I, we killed a jake together, but I didn't get to hear him gobble. He just kind of snuck in, and that was amazing, But heck, I was in college when I think I shot my first turkey. But then I went with you out not too far from your guys' home place. And
we had 3 gobblers come up behind us.
That was the first time I heard one spitting and drumming.
Going crazy.
And we didn't get them the first day, but we ended up getting one the following day. But
that bird you got, he wanted to go the other way.
Right.
We could see him in the tree roosted, and he was determined to fly onto the next property. And every time he'd turn and look like he was going to launch, I'd yelp real hard, cut real hard. And
Yeah.
I did it at just the right time. And he turned back around and he ended up on the ground. He's like, what am I doing here? And he took off the other way and Chad blasted him. Man, that was awesome.
Oh, man.
Awesome morning.
And tell us a little bit about Harry Hartzler tree steps.
Well, you know.
Because they're not like I've got some lone wolf sticks back behind me. That's
Well,
how much did your tree sticks cost?
It depends which ones you're talking about. For public land, where they wouldn't allow us to use screw-in steps here in Missouri, why I just took a piece of like 3x4 treated. It was scrap from my job, so it didn't cost anything.
Yeah.
Drilled a hole through it, put some baling wire. Grew up on a dairy farm. We had plenty of baling wire. Put the baling wire through the hole and then just wrap that around the tree and tie it, and you just step on those chunks and go up. I mean, you just grab it. It wasn't real secure.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
it worked.
You know, if you've ever seen such a thing in the woods, those were probably mine, because I doubt anybody else did that.
Well, that was one of the things I learned quickly as I, started dating Emma and getting to know the Hartzler family. And, obviously I grew up, I was the kid in my family that was just crazy about hunting. But I had never, tried climbing into a Hartzler tree stand before. There are,
generally, the first step is too far from the ground, and generally the steps are too far apart, and generally we might even remove the bottom step just because, generally we're thin and nimble and we don't think you can get in there if you're not us.
Yeah, so any of the guys that had a little girth to them are probably not getting into a Hartzler tree stand. So, well, and I don't consider myself a real large guy, but some of those trips up a Hartzler tree stand, they're pretty intense. So
yeah, my hips are bothering me nowadays, so I may have to change that.
All right. Well, is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers here? Just some Harryisms or some Harry advice for getting out in the woods or anything?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. I guess the thing is that I just really appreciate being out there in the creation. And I really believe it's created. Mm-hmm. Didn't just happen by chance. Just so many of the things we enjoy, and especially now, like when I was a kid, we didn't have deer and turkey in this part of the state. So if you wanted to hunt, you had to go south. Mm-hmm. And so just to see how amazing it is to have awesome populations to hunt, just really thankful for that. I could live without hunting, but I'm not sure how.
Right? Yeah.
So it's just, when I was a kid, it was more rabbit and squirrel and, just small game hunting. Tried waterfowl a little bit, but when I really got started on hunting deer and then turkeys, okay, these two things, that fills up your spring and your fall. And winter is, it's just winter. And summertime, you can be floating the rivers and fishing and, trot lining for catfish and all that. Maybe go down to South Missouri and float on the Jack's Fork or something. I really love that kind of stuff. And so it's just really just awesome to be out there. And it doesn't have to be some exotic trip, you head out with the kids and call in a bird and watch a kid harvest a tom, and wow. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it was, I remember, well, it was kind of later on into my dad's cancer battle where we knew, he didn't have much longer to live. I had a period of time where I was able to get off, and I wanted to take him to go see Yellowstone. And he kind of said, I'll go with you. Let's go. But he said, I don't need to see any more. I've really, I have, raised 3 boys. I've got to do a lot with them right here in County, Missouri, and he just there is a lot to do with your family right here in our area, for sure.
So don't let those opportunities get past you. Don't get too busy. Just, oh my word, some of the stories I could tell from taking kids out. we came back from a rabbit hunt and we had a live one we caught with our hands. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it is. It's absolutely true.
We'll have to bring Sean and Zion on to the channel to give their side of that story.
Yeah. Crazy stuff, man, but good. I mean, such good memories. And that's the thing. Like I just said, I've never hunted out of state. I've traveled out of state. I've hiked. I've been to the Nile River. I've been to the Amazon River. I've seen some country. But as far as my hunting and fishing, it's always just been with a local tag and just doing the local thing, and it's just been great.
Yeah. Well, Harry, thanks for coming on and sharing a little bit with us. We love you, man. You've impacted our lives. Obviously, you've raised just incredible kids, and they're not kids anymore. And you're one of the wealthiest people I know, and it doesn't have anything to do with money. So
we're very, very blessed, Mary and I. That's for sure. God is good.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed getting to know Harry Hartzler a little bit here. Thanks for joining us, and get out there in the woods. We'll see you.